production team is responsible for polishing the script to incorporate the theme, write the narration, and develop the play. Because the sound play takes place in the 1920s, the production team focuses on merging this theme with the original Romeo and Juliet script and digs deep to make sure the sound play script is best suited for us. Since this is a radio play, therefore no visuals, the team works hard to adjust the script to enhance the audience's comprehension and help connect this classic masterpiece with today's society.
Now let's talk about sound. Sound leads are Aaditya and Anand.
The sound team looks through the script to see where sound effects are necessary to help with comprehension. They are also responsible for making audio from Zoom optimal quality. Since this is a radio play, the audience is more dependent on the sound, and this means that the sound team has to carefully choose where they place the sound effects and Foley. The sound team also plays an important role in enhancing the setting of our play using, sound.
Duh.
Education and marketing. The education team is responsible for making the storyboards and playboard. You could think of the storyboard as a comic for this radio play, a way for you to follow along and visualize. The teams work together to make the playbook, which introduces the script, the play, the actors, and directs people to the storyboard. The marketing team is responsible for making the promotional videos and manages the Instagram posts to promote the play.
Hello, and welcome to MV Drama's first ever radio play. I'm your host, Paige Lawrence, and I'll be walking you through the show alongside Governor Prince, who lived through this tale himself over 100 years ago. This production of Romeo and Juliet switches between the Roaring Twenties and our modern day commentary live from my studio.
Talented students of advanced drama brought this show to life almost entirely on their own, with student-led tech department, sound editors, script writers, and actors.
Featuring the music of Twin Peaks' David Lynch, Angela Badalamenti, and Julie Cruz, this production of Romeo and Juliet tells the story entirely through sound. If your teachers are offering extra credit, make sure to introduce yourself in the chat with your first and last name so we can keep track of who's here. But be sure to stay until the end, until after the Q&A session, to receive the link to the attendance form and the secret word to verify your attendance.
Have any questions throughout the show, make sure to stay till the end to participate in the cast and crew Q&A session.
Be sure to keep the chat clean and respectful, and enjoy the show. Welcome, welcome everyone. Thank you all for tuning in to America Today, the place for your morning dose of current events and fascinating stories. I'm your host, Paige Lawrence, and today we have a very special guest all the way from the Upper East Side in New York City, Governor Prince.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. So, Governor, as you're aware, due to recent scrutiny over America's growing class disparity, our country has been in a state of economic turmoil and division. Due to your vast political and diplomatic experience over the last generation, we wanted to hear your thoughts on this rapidly escalating issue.
Well, Paige, I want to tell you a story that I think every person in this country can learn from. Let me take you back a lifetime to the time of jazz and prohibition, an era of mystery and wealth, glamour and spirit, and most importantly, the time of Romeo and Juliet.
Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Manhattan where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life. Whole, misadventured, piteous overthrows, do with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which, but their children's end, naught could remove, is now the 2 hours traffic of our stage. The which if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend. We set our scene in a bustling Times Square as Sampson and Gregory, two Capulet servants, enter into a dispute with two members of the rival Montague family.
The quarrel is between our masters and us their men.
'Tis all one.
Romeo's humble friend Balthazar and his level-headed cousin Benvolio enter.
Here comes two of the house of the Montagues. Quarrel.
Oh, they're asking for this.
I'll that be.
You bite your thumb at us, sir.
I do by my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
No, sir. I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I bite my thumb, sir. I serve as good a man as you.
No better?
Yes, better, sir.
Oh!
You lie.
Oh! Get him! Get him!
Draw if you be men.
Hard fools, put up your blade. You know not what you do.
Tybalt, the intemperate and bloodthirsty Capulet, appears at the scene of the fight.
Spare thee, Benvolio. Look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy blade, or manage it to put these men with me.
What? Drawn and talk of peace. I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. Have at thee, coward.
Down with the Capulets.
Down with the Montagues.
What noise is this? Give me my long sword. Ho!
Thou villain Capulet.
Mr. Prince, the firm yet just governor of New York, enters as chaos ensues.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, on pain of torture from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground and hear the sentence of your moved prince. If ever you disturb the peace again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that.
which having makes them short.
In love?
Out.
Love?
Out of her favor, where I am in love. Where shall we dine? Oh, me. What fray was here? Yet tell me not, for I have heard it all. Here is much to do with hate, but more with love.
Tell me in sadness, who is that you love?
In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I am so near when I supposed you loved.
Right good markman. And she's fair, I love.
Be ruled by me, forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties. At an ancient feast of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so lovest. Go thither, and with unattainted eye, compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow.
I'll go along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in the splendor of mine own.
Well, Mayor Prince, based on what we've heard so far, things didn't seem like they were going good for Romeo. I think it was good his friends planned to cheer him up by finding him another girl.
Yes, but the Montague family had bigger things to worry about, as they were still at war with the Capulets. Justifiably, Lord Capulet also distracted himself with big plans for Juliet's future.
But Montague is as bound as well as I, in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you have delivered odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But saying over what I have said before, my child is yet a stranger in the world, and she hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride.
Younger than she, a happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those so early made. Earth hath swallowed all my hopes, but she's the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, go get her heart. And my will to her consent is but a part, and she agreed. Within her scope of choice lies my consent in fair according voice.
Juliet's stern mother and her closest companion, her nursemaid, enter Juliet's room while looking for her.
Nurse! Where is my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Now, by my maidenhead, at 12 years old, I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird? God forbid, where is this girl? What Juliet?
How now? Who calls?
Your lady mother.
Madam, I am here. What is your will?
Thou knowest my daughter's of a pretty age.
Faith, I can tell her age into an hour.
She's not 14.
I'll lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teeth be it spoken, I have but 4. She is not 14. On Lambeth that night shall she be 14, for then she could stand alone. Nay, by the root, she could have run and waddled all about.
Enough of this! I pray thee, hold thy peace.
Peace? I have done. God marks thee to his grace. Thou was the prettiest babe I ever nursed, and I might live to see thee married once. I have my wish.
Well, think of marriage now, thus then in brief. The valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
Woohoo! A man, young lady. Lady, such a man.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman?
I look to like, if looking like he move. But no more deep will I endart mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Juliet, the county stays.
Go, girl. Seek happy nights to happy days.
We find ourselves on the Lower East Side of Manhattan with the amiable yet wild Mercutio, who's taking Benvolio and Romeo to a party.
Give me a torch. I'm not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound.
Hey, supper is done and we shall come too late.
I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequence, yet hanging in the stars, shall bitterly begin his fearful date. For this night's revels and expire the term of the despised life close in my breast, by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course, direct my sail.
Oh, hush, old friend. This night, I have brought you to a place where you'll feel your grief melt away. Keep walking. Ta-da!
Do my eyes deceive me? Certainly we're not at the mansion of my greatest enemy, Capulet.
No one will notice if we use the secret entrance. Come, knock, and enter.
Password.
The password is star-crossed lovers. Come.
My, who could ever resist an expensive, large party like the Capulets? I wish I'd been there.
That night is still clear as day in my mind. There were fountains of champagne, strings of pearls, and the prettiest dancing ladies holding peacock fans. It was full of surprises, all right.
Welcome, gentlemen!
Who are those scruffy men? From the depths of Brooklyn, I suppose. Their collars are not even properly starched.
Hey you, servant. Come over here. What lady is that, that doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?
I know not, sir. Excuse me.
Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright, and my heart loved till now, forswear its sight, for I never saw true beauty till this night. If I profane, with my most unworthiest hand, this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips, and holy palmers too?
I, pilgrim, lips of them is used in prayer.
Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips by yours my sin is purged.
Then have my lips the sin that they have took.
Sin from thy lips, oh trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again.
You kiss by the buck.
Madame! Your mother craves a word with you.
What is her mother?
Her mother is the lady of the house.
Is she a Capulet? Oh, dear account, my life is in my foe's debt.
Psst! Come hither, nurse. What is yon gentleman?
His name is Romeo, and Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love, sprung from my only hate, too early seen unknown and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me, that I must love who loved an enemy.
Can I go forward when my heart is here? Turn back, dull earth, and find thy center out.
We now find Mercutio and Benvolio standing in the street in front of Capulet's garden trying to find Romeo, who is reeling from the truth of Juliet's family and thus wandering about.
Romeo! My cousin Romeo!
He is wise, and, on my lie, had stolen him home to bed.
He ran this way and left this orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio.
Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo, humors, madman, passion, lover. I conjure thee by Rosalind's bright eyes, by her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh, and the domesticness at their adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou appear to us.
And if he hear thee, thou wilt anger him.
This cannot anger him. 'Twould anger him to raise a spirit in his mistress' circle of some strange nature, letting it there till she had laid it and conjured it down. That were some spite. My invocation is fair and honest. In his mistress's name, I conjure only but to raise of him.
Come, he hath hid himself among these trees, to be consorted with the humors tonight. Blind is his love infested dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Now, will he sit under a medlar tree and wish his mistress for that kind of fruit, as maids call medlars when they laugh aloud? Oh, Romeo, that you were, oh, that you were, an open arse, though popper and bear. Romeo, good night. I'll do my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go then, for 'tis in vain. To seek him here, that means not to be found.
Just as scars I never felt a wound.
Juliet appears at a window while talking up to herself, unaware of the silent Romeo loitering down below, looking at her.
But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who's already sick and pale with grief. But thou, her maid, art more fair than she. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were.
Ay me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not sworn, my love, then I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak of this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, and not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, they take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me, but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I will never be Romeo.
Juliet is startled as she finally notices the enamored Romeo looking up at her.
What man art thou that dost bescreen the knight so stumbled on my counsel?
By name, I know not to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of the tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo? And a Montague?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I overperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out. And what love can do, that dares love attempt, therefore thy kinsmen are no threat to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight. And but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death corrode, wanting of thy love.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell in form, fain deny what I've spoke, but farewell compliment. Oh, gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or, if thou thinkest I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo. But else, not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayest think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that are more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess. But that thou overheardst, ere I was ware, my true love's passion. Therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night had so discovered.
Lady, yonder blessed moon, I swear.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconsistent moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all, or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love...
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden. Good night, good night. A sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. Yoo-hoo! Anand, good nurse! Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed, blessed night, I'm afeard. Being a night, all this but a dream. Too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that vent of love be honorable, by a purposed marriage, send me word tomorrow, by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madame!
I come anon! Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light.
Romeo! I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I loved thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forget, forgetting any other home but this.
Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow, that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep in peace, so sweet to rest.
goes to the church of the town friar, the reasonable and trustworthy Friar Lawrence.
Good morrow, Father.
What early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Ah, young son, it argues, a distempered head so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Therefore thy earliness doth me assure thou art uproused by some distemperature. Or, if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
The last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon sin! Wast thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline? My ghostly father, no! I forgot that name. That name's Woe.
That's my good son, but where hast thou been then?
You plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
As mine and hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined say what thou must combine. By holy marriage, and this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy Saint Francis, what changes here? Is Rosaline, whom thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies, not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes.
I pray thee, chide not. She whom I love now, doth grace for grace, and love for love allow. The other did not so.
Come, my young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect, I'll thy assistant be, for this alliance may so happy prove to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence. I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast. We find Mercutio and Benvolio hanging out with each other in the town square.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight?
Not to his father's. I spoke with his man. Tybalt, the kinsman of old Capulet, hath sent a letter to his father's house.
Ooh, a challenge. On my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Any man that can write may answer a letter. Alas, poor Romeo. Is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why? What is Tybalt?
More than the Prince of Cats, I can tell you.
Ooh, Romeo! Here comes Romeo! Here comes Romeo!
Hello to you both.
Signor Romeo, bonjour. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Pardon, good Mercutio. My business was great.
Hey, I see you.
Here's goodly gear.
Nurse walks into the town square followed by her submissive servant, Peter. She's a formidable woman with affection for none but her dear Juliet. Her clothes are billowing behind her matronly presence like sails on a ship headed somewhere with purpose.
A sail! A sail!
A shirt and a smile.
Peter!
Anand.
My fan, Peter!
Oh, yes, of course.
Ah, good Peter, to hide her face. Or her fans, the fair face.
Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I am the youngest of that name.
I desire some confidence with you.
I will follow you.
Farewell, ancient lady. Farewell, lady. Lady. Lady.
Our dear nurse pulls Romeo aside for a confidential conversation.
Pray you, sir, a word. My young lady bade me inquire you out. What she bade me say, I will keep to myself. But first, let me tell ye, if ye should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, It were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say. For the gentlewoman is young, and therefore, if you shall deal double with her truly, it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. Bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon, and there she shall, at Friar Lawrence's cell, be shrived and married. Here's for thy pains.
This afternoon, sir? Well, she shall be there.
Commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times.
Meanwhile, Juliet frets over the prolonged absence of her dear nurse.
The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. That's not so. Oh, she is lame. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love and his to me. But old folks, many fain as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, and pale as lead. Oh God, she comes! Oh, honey nurse, what news? Hast thou met with him? Oh Lord, why lookest thou sad?
I'm a-weary. Give me leave a while. Fie, how my bones ache. What a jaunt have I had.
I would thou hadst my bones and eyes thine use. Nay, come, I pray thee, speak. Good nurse, speak.
Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath, when thou hast breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? Is thine use good or bad?
Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man, Romeo. No, not he. Though his face be better than any man, yet his leg excels all men, and for a hand, and a foot, and a body, though they be not to be talked on, yet they are past compare. He is not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warrant him, as gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench, serve God.
No, but all this that I know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Lord, how my head aches.
Ay, Faith, I am sorry that thou art not well. Sweet, sweet, sweet nurse, tell me, what says my love?
Have you got leave to go to Shrift today?
I have.
Then hie you hence to Friar Lawrence's cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Go, I'll to dinner. Hie you to the cell.
Hie to high fortune. Honest nurse, farewell.
Romeo and Juliet excitedly stand in Friar Lawrence's cell, waiting to be wed.
Ah, Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blazon it than sweeten with thy breath, this neighbor air and let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either by this dear encounter.
Conceit, more rich in matter than in words, brags of his substance, not of ornament. They are but beggars that can count their worth. But my true love is grown to such excess, I cannot sum up some of half my wealth.
Come with me, and we will make short work. For by your leaves, you shall not stay alone, till Holy Church incorporate 2 in 1.
Our dear Romeo and Juliet are at last wed.
If only this was their happily ever after ending. It was not too much later until the fights on the street between the rival families started again.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets are broad, and if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl. By my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I care not.
Tybalt, Juliet's strong-willed cousin, saunters through Times Square and happens upon Benvolio and Mercutio.
Gentlemen, good day. A word with one of you.
And but one word with one of us. Couple with something, make it a word, and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir. And you will give me occasion. Mercutio, thou consort with Romeo.
Consort? What dost thou make us minstrels? Zounds, consort!
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw into some private place, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
I will not budge for no man's pleasure, I.
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
Romeo, in a daze of happiness from his recent wedding, approaches.
Romeo, the hate I bear we can afford. No better term than this, thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none. Therefore farewell, I see thou knowest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me. Therefore turn and draw.
I do protest. I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise.
Oh, come, dishonorable, vile submission. Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives.
Oh, I am for you.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come, sir, your passido.
Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage. Hold, Tybalt, good Mercutio.
I am hurt. A plague on both your houses. I am sped.
What? Art thou hurt?
A scratch. A scratch. Mary, 'tis enough. Where's my page?
What is it, sir?
Go, villain. Fetch a surgeon.
Courage, man. The hurt cannot be much.
Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought all for the best.
Help me to some house, Benvolio. Faint. A plague on both your houses.
Oh, Romeo, brave Mercutio's dead.
This what begins the woe others must end. Tybalt! Alive in triumph, and Mercutio slain. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again. That late thou gavest me, Mercutio's soul, is but a little way above our heads. Staying for thine to keep him company, either thou or I, or both must go with him.
Romeo, away be gone! Stand not amazed, the prince will doom thee death if thou art taken.
Oh, I am a fortune's fool.
Prince, Lord and Lady Montague, and Lord and Lady Capulet are drawn to the commotion.
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
Prince, as thou art true, for blood of ours, shed blood of Montague.
Benvolio, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt, you're slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay.
I beg for justice, which thou, Prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him. He slew Mercutio, who now the price of his dear blood doth owe.
Not Romeo, Prince, he was Mercutio's friend. This fall concludes but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt.
And for that offense immediately we do exile him hence. Bear hence this body, and attend our will. Mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill.
Juliet, meanwhile, has no idea that her new husband has murdered her cousin and has been consequently exiled. She pleasantly passes the time in her lovely orchard,
longing for her Romeo.
Oh, gallop apace, you fairy-footed steeds, towards Phoebus's lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaethon would whip you to the west and bring cloudy night immediately. Oh, I have bought the mansion of love, but not possessed it. And though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news.
Oh.
Ay me, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Oh, well a day! He's dead! He's dead! He's dead!
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo! Who would have ever thought it? Romeo!
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus?
Oh, Tybalt, Tybalt, the best friend I ever had. That ever I should live to see thee dead.
Romeo slaughtered? And is Tybalt dead?
Tybalt is gone and Romeo banished.
Oh God. Did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did. Alas, the day it did.
Oh, serpent's heart, hid with the flowering face. Did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Nurse, there's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men. Shame come to Romeo. Oh, blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him.
Oh, will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Will I speak ill of him that is my husband? Ah, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? Villain cousin would have killed my husband. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead.
Oh,
that would have slain my husband.
Oh.
All this is comfort. Wherefore weep I then? The word there was worser than Tybalt's death.
Oh,
Romeo, Spanish head. Go then. Come, nurse. I'll take my wedding bed. And death, not Romeo, into my maidenhead.
Oh. Hie to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is.
Oh, bid him come to take his last farewell.
Juliet strives to see her now exiled husband once more. Meanwhile, Romeo lets out his frustration in Friar Lawrence's.
Ah, banishment. Be merciful, say death.
Oh. Hence from Manhattan art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Manhattan walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself.
Thou fond mad man, hear me, but speak a word.
Oh, thou wilt speak again of banishment.
I'll give thee armor to keep off that word. Adversity's sweet milk, philosophy, to comfort thee, though thou art banished.
Yet banished? Hang up philosophy, unless philosophy can make a Juliet, displant a town, reverse a prince's doom.
Arise, one knocks. Good Romeo, hide thyself. Who knocks so hard? Whence come you? What's your will?
Let me come in and you shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet.
Welcome then.
Nurse.
Ah, sir. Well, death's the end of all.
Speakest thou of Juliet? How is it with her?
Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps and weeps. And Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo cries.
Oh, tell me, friar, tell me. And what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me, that I may sack the hateful mansion.
Hold thy desperate hand.
Go, get thee to thy love, as was decreed. But look thou stay not till the watch be set. For then thou canst not pass to Long Island, where thou shalt live.
What? No, I can't live there.
Till we can find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the nurse, and call thee back. Go, poor nurse, commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto Romeo is coming.
How well my comfort is revived by this.
'Tis late. Farewell, good night.
Romeo and Juliet awake in her bedroom after their secret midnight tryst. Now, not only is Romeo on the grounds of his enemy, he is also an exiled man, wanted for murder, and he must escape before the sun rises if he wishes to live.
Wilt thou be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale and not the lark that pierced.
Or stay and die.
Yon light is not daylight, I know it I. Therefore stay yet. Thou needest not to be gone.
I have more care to stay than will to go. Come, death, and welcome. Juliet wills it so.
It is. Hie, hence, be gone, away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune. Oh, now be gone, more light and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and dark our woes.
Art thou gone so? Love, Lord, husband, friend.
Farewell.
Oh, thinkest thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not. One kiss and I'll descend.
Methinks I see thee, now thou art below, as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight failed, or thou lookest pale.
And trust me, love, and my eyes so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu, adieu.
Ho, daughter, are you up?
Madam, I am not well.
Evermore weeping for your cousin's death? Well, girl, thou weepest not so much for his death, as that the villain lives which slaughtered him. But now, I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
And joy comes well in such a needy time.
Marry, my child. Early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris, at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
Now, by St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I pray you, tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet. And when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate, rather than Paris. These are news indeed.
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself and see how he will take it at your hands.
Juliet's father, followed by her nursemaid, rushes in.
How now? A conduit girl? What? Still in tears? Have you delivered to her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks.
How? Will she none? Does she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud could I never be of what I hate, but thankful even for hate that is meant love.
Out, you green sickness carrion! Out, you baggage!
5-5, what are you, mad?
A good father, I beseech you on my knees!
Hang thee, young baggage! Disobedient wretch, I'll tell thee what. Get thee to church on Thursday, or never after look me in the face.
You are too hot.
Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart and advise. and you be mine. I'll give you to my friend, and you be not. Hang, beg, starve, die in the streets, for by my soul I'll never acknowledge thee.
After Lord Capulet's outburst, Juliet turns to her mother and pleads.
Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
O God, O nurse, how shall this be prevented? What sayest thou? Hast thou not a word of joy?
Faith, here it is. Romeo is banished, and all the world do nothing. That he dares ne'er come back to challenge you. Then, since the case so stands as it now doth, I think it best you married with the county.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
And from my soul too, or else beshrew them both.
Well, thou hast comforted me marvelous much. Go in, and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father, to Lawrence's cell, to make confession and to be absolved. Nurse, marry I will, and this is wisely done. Ancient damnation, O most wicked fiend! Go, counselor, thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. I'll to the friar to know his remedy.
Sure, Juliet felt as if her relationship with Romeo had hit rock bottom.
But Governor Prince, wasn't there anyone the two of them could turn to for help?
Yes, and in this case, it was Friar Lawrence's door that Juliet desperately banged on.
Oh, shut the door! And when thou hast done so, come weep with me. Past hope, past cure, past help.
Juliet, I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits.
Tell me not, friar, that thou hearest of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it.
Hold, daughter. I do spy a kind of hope. If, rather than to marry County Paris, thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself.
Oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris from off the battlements of yonder tower. Or bid me go into a new-made grave and hide me with the dead men in his shroud, and I will do it, without fear or doubt, to live an unstained wife to my sweet love.
Hold then. Go home, be merry, give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Take thou this vial, being then in bed, and this distilled liquor drink thou off, when presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor, for no pulse shall keep his native progress, but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 42 hours, and then awake as from a pleasant sleep. In the meantime, against thou shalt awake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift, and hither shall he come, and he and I will watch thy waking, and that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Long Island.
Give me, oh, tell me not of fear.
I'll send a friar with speed to Long Island, with my letters to thy lord.
Love give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father.
Equipped with a vial, Juliet arrives home to her concerned father.
How now, my headstrong? Where have you been gadding?
Where I have learned me to repent the sin of disobedient opposition. Henceforward I am ever ruled by you.
Why, I am glad on it. Send for the county. I'll have this knot knit up tomorrow morning. This is well. Stand up. This is as it should be. Go on. We'll to church tomorrow.
Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. I have a faint cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life. Come, Violet. What if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be merry then tomorrow morning? No, no. This shall forbid it. Lie thou there. Romeo, I come. This do I drink to thee.
Next morning, we find a carefree nurse calling Juliet to wake her.
Mistress! Why, mistress! Juliet! Fast I warned her she. Why, lamb! Why, lady! 5 slug a bed, I must needs wake you. Lady! Lady? Lady? Alas! Alas! Help! Help! My lady's dead! My lord! My lady!
What noise is here?
For shame, bring Juliet forth. Her lord is come.
Alive today! She's dead! She's dead! She's dead!
Death lies on her like an untimely frost upon the sweetest flower of all the field.
I expect everyone was to mourn for Juliet's supposed death.
Everyone that I knew in Manhattan, of course. Romeo still relaxed on Long Island, waiting for news.
I may trust the flattering truth of sleep. My dreams presage some joyful news at hand. Huzzah! News from Manhattan! How now, Balthazar? How fares my Juliet? For nothing can be ill if she be well.
Then she is well, and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument.
What?
I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault.
Is that even so? Then I defy you, stars! Hast thou no letters to me from the friar?
No, my good lord.
No matter. Get thee gone, and hire horses. I'll be with thee straight. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means. Oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. I do remember an apothecary. What ho, apothecary!
Who calls so loud?
Hold. There's 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison, such soon speeding gear as will disperse itself through all the veins, that the life-weary taker may fall dead.
Put this in any liquid thing you will and drink it off. And if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight.
There's thy gold. Worst poison to men's souls. Come cordial, and not poison. Go with me to Juliet's grave, for there I must use thee.
The motionless Juliet lies in state in the Capulet tomb, as a sobbing Paris enters with flowers in his hands.
Sweet flower, with the flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Oh woe! Thy canopy is dust and stones, which with sweet water nightly I will do, wanting that, with tears distilled by moan. The boy gives warning something doth approach. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight? The cross may obsequies in true love's right. What with a torch? Muffle me night awhile.
Paris hides himself and watches Romeo and Balthazar arriving together to visit Juliet's grave. Romeo, however, wants to be alone.
Why I descend into this bed of death is partly to behold my lady's face. Therefore hence be gone, But if thou, jealous, dost return to pry, by heaven, I will tear thee joint by joint.
I will be gone, sir, and not trouble you. For all this same, I'll hide me hereabout. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
Balthazar remains close, watching as Romeo approaches the grave. A hidden Paris recognizes Romeo.
This is that banished haughty Montague, and here is come to do some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I will apprehend him. Stop thine hallowed toil, vile Montague. Obey and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Fly hence and leave me.
I do defy thy conjurations, and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy!
Oh, I am slain.
After killing Paris, Romeo runs back to the Capulet tomb to find his love, Juliet, lying motionless and cold.
Oh, my love, my wife! Death that had sucked the honey out of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Tybalt, liest thou there in the bloody sheet? Forgive me, cousin. Ah, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace. And lips, oh, you the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss, a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct, here's to my love. Oh, true apothecary, thy drugs are quick. Thus, with a kiss, I die.
Just as Romeo falls to the ground, Juliet suddenly awakens from her slumber.
What's here? A cup closed in my true love's hand? Poison I see had been his timeless end. Oh, churl, drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after? I will kiss thy lips, haply some poison yet doth hang on them to make die the restorative. Thy lips are warm.
Juliet's private moment is interrupted when the watchman cracks open the churchyard door.
Lead, boy. Which way?
Oh, noise? Then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger! This is thy sheep. There. Rust and let me die.
Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague, see what a scourge is laid upon your hate that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love. A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun, for sorrow, will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned and some punished.
For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
everybody. Welcome to the Q&A. This is going to be a Q&A with both the cast and the crew. Mahati, do you have anything to say?
I do. Thank you guys so much for coming and watching our play. We're so happy you enjoyed it. Now, it is time for our special Q&A of our cast and crew. But before we do that, if your teachers are handing out extra credit, I just linked the form in the live chat where you can fill out. The secret word is Mizpah, spelled M-I-Z-P-A-H, Mizpah, which means eternal bond between two people, strengthened especially in death. Now, it's time to ask our wonderful cast and crew some questions. Let's start out with some questions that we got from the audience. Like, Marian, you're in storyboard, right? How did the storyboard department produce the images in the comics that we saw throughout the play?
We used this website called storyboardthat.com, and basically it has all the essentials you need to make a pretty quick storyboard. And with a lot of storyboards, we were able to create a graphic novel, which is linked in the playbill. Also on the storyboard, there's different costumes and different people and different scenes. So we try to match the scenes and the uniforms and costumes to our 1920s New York theme.
Wow, that's so interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So, how hard was the storyboard to create? Did you guys draw the images, or how did it go?
It was actually pretty slow task at first because not a lot of people knew how to use that website. And so we had a lot of people working on the storyboards, maybe like 5 to 10 people per day. But like 4 months during the time we got hang of it. So it took around, I'd guess, 2 months in total to do all the storyboards and get the graphic novel and to complete it.
That's so interesting. Thank you. Anika, so you played Nurse, right, today in today's radio play. If I'm correct, you were in drama the previous year as well?
Yes, I was in beginning drama.
Okay, so can I just ask, what was your experience doing an online play compared to an in-person play?
So for freshman year, I never completely was part of the productions like Mamma Mia and The Marriage, but I was part of SNL, and we did some in-class little sketches, and I think that it was definitely much harder to convey stage directions and like what the actual actors were doing because that's why we had sound be such a big important aspect of this play. And when I was acting, it was not just like I'm acting with my hands and I'm acting with a little bit of my voice. It was like all in my voice, and so every inflection, like it basically all just mattered, and I feel like the audience can notice a lot.
Totally agree. Thank you. Okay, so we have some questions in the chat from Terrelyn. Thank you, Terrelyn, for your question. Terrelyn says about how long did the entire production take to make? I'll hand this over to Kush, who's actually our prince. So Kush, how long did it take?
I think we started in around October, I'd say, right? Was it October? And we finished about, in January. So that was, how much is it? October, November? Yeah, that was about 4 months long. And almost all of it was doing the acting the entire time. And it was also, part of it was also multitasking behind the scenes, like doing the storyboards or sound editing some of the great sounds, the great music that we heard in all of our acts. Yeah, so it took about 4 months.
Yeah. So from Sylvana to Romeo, Nerea. Hi, Nerea. So your character has some very emotional scenes. How did you find and channel the right emotions into Romeo?
Well, I guess last year I had done, in freshman year I'd read Romeo and Juliet and I watched a lot of productions of it. I think I took inspiration from that. Also, my sister, who was the one that put down that question, was also in Romeo and Juliet. She played Juliet. And I guess I was just really inspired by her performance because she was just so wonderful at it. But it was quite a challenge to only use your voice to convey and act as, as Romeo Montague. So that was the challenge.
It's really interesting. Thank you. So, another question. Since there were multiple people in the scenes, how did you stitch the voices together? So can you take that over to Aaron, who's our...
Yeah, so I'm the sound lead. I've actually had very little to do with how we stitch the voice together. The process is that we would screen record the Zoom meeting, and then the actors would play out the scene like they would normally, reading their lines into the computer. And what I would do is just take that audio and put sound effects over it. So I didn't actually stitch the voices together. I just put stuff on top of it. That answers your question.
Interesting. Thank you. So another question, Aaron. How did you carry over the visual components of the show and then translate them through sound, right? Since we're missing the visual aspect in the show, how did we make up for that using audio?
Well, Romeo and Juliet is kind of like an iconic thing in our school. We do it a lot. We read a book in freshman literature. We watch a movie, we watch the drama play. So I have I basically know what the scenes look like, and I can imagine what I imagine the scenes to look like. And then I compare my imagination with the script and choose what sounds I think are necessary. And then, because I can't have every single sound be in the thing. Like when Romeo stands up, I can't have a chair scooting back and then feet put down and then footsteps to the door, because that'll just be sound clutter. So instead, I just have to choose the important ones. Like in this show, I just chose the chair standing up because that was enough to convey that Romeo was walking towards something. So yeah.
Thanks, Aaron. So hi, Gia. So Gia is also one of our actors. Gia, can you tell us about how your experience in the play? Did you like it? How did you make it?
Yeah, of course. So personally, I think that doing the sound play is very different than all the other things we've done, because typically in drama class, we learn a lot about how to use facial expressions and how to make, your face and your body language be the main point of your acting. And we do learn obviously voice modulation, but doing it on Zoom and doing a radio play is obviously very different, because you have to learn how to make your voice the primary. I think Anika touched on this a lot, because that's the only thing that audiences are hearing, obviously along with the storyboard. But you have to really dive in deep into your character and learn how your character would portray everything through their voice. So on my character personally is this old man. So I have to kind of learn how I'll make my voice kind of seem like that, even though I'm a young girl. So you have to change things up like that. So yeah, I think we really tried to use our voice as the primary aspect of it, along with sound editing and then adding narration and then the storyboard on top.
Interesting, thank you. So we have a question from Sophia Chen in the chat. So Aaron, this is for you. How did you pick the music when you were choosing the sound?
It was more of a joint effort between me and Mrs. Gould. I would initially put some music in just to get the feel for the scene. And then Miss Gould had a really good idea about halfway through production. She said that we should take an inspiration from the soundtrack Twin Peaks. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the show. I didn't hear of the show until Miss Gould sent the soundtrack to me. So we took sounds that we thought fit really well and then put them in the production. The reason why we only chose one album, the Twin Peaks, is so it will feel continuous and it feels like the entire show is connected together. Yeah.
Thanks, Aaron. So Aishwarya, you played Juliet, right? How do you think we did in connecting the old world version of Romeo and Juliet to this new digital version?
Are you talking about acting it out in real life and in the radio play?
Yes, and also how you think that the play translated over to a modern day radio play.
In terms of acting it out, I think it was a completely different experience over Zoom. You really had to focus on making your voice, making the play interesting with just your voice. Drama, a lot of acting involves your body and your body language and really making big motions and movements in order to capture the attention of your audience. And obviously doing a Zoom play with just audio makes it very hard to captivate the interest of your audience. And just acting in the play and doing and saying your lines is just a different experience because you have to learn how to act without seeing the people next to you and act without having the environment that you normally would be in. In terms of the translating it to the modern version, I think we did a great job of piecing it together, especially with the sound effects and the music and such. We did change some of the script in order to match better with the time period that we chose. And I thought it was a cool twist on the classic because we don't get to see a lot of variation. There are other people who have done different types and versions of this play, but I think I've never seen one in the 1920s or like just in New York. Or I think it's just a cool way to change things up.
Thank you. So interesting. Okay, so we have a question from Jonavi. Jonavi says, I noticed that some actors were playing parts that were quite different from their actual personalities. Did you have some special preparation to play those parts? So actually, I'm going to ask Kush to answer this question because I know for Kush, he played Prince in like old day and modern day. So he had to do a lot of voice changing when he was playing it.
Yeah, so the first thing I had to master was getting the old voice. And I was really bad at that because it requires a lot of work with like your throat to like press it in and make a bad voice and like make like a groany voice, for example. So I had to look up a lot of videos on like how to make an old man voice. A lot of them were, it's a lot of just like you keep trying and it'll finally happen. So I kept like trying to press my throat in and then try to get that groany voice in. And yeah, eventually after like a lot of time it happened, I was able to do that old man voice that you hear in my conversations with Paige Lawrence in the news thing. And switching to the modern voice, all of us had to learn, because it was set in the 1920s New York, we all had to learn accents based on what our social status was. So like the upper status had to learn some Upper East Side kind of accent. The lower class had to learn a Bostonian kind of accent. And we also watch videos for those and try to adapt those accents into our own scenes as well. So it was a lot of preparation and we took a lot of inspiration from videos online and tutorials to help us get that part. And Miss Gould also helped a lot in trying to further that thing as much as possible.
Thank you. For Juliet from SK Lifestyle, what impact did the role of Juliet have on your life?
I mean, it wasn't life-changing. I think it really changed the way I viewed acting. I think it's so much more than just your body, and I've learned really how to utilize my voice and just the audio aspects and really recognize and appreciate the sound team and how much work they do to really pull together the play. And I think if we had done this play without, Aaron and Aaditya, they did such a great job of incorporating sound effects that would be like missed if they didn't have. Like, for example, if we're in an outside scene, having the wind rustling is something that would be a noticeable difference if it was not there. But they made sure to keep an eye out for all the details that really just pulled everything together. So I'm just much more appreciative of everything that they do. And also I've learned how to utilize my voice more in terms of acting and not to rely on just your body.
That's good. Thank you. So Anika, question for you. So I know that you were in drama last year. How did the audition process for this play this year compare to that of in previous years? Was it different? Was it better?
I actually really like the audition process for in-class plays because it means you get a part. Everyone kind of always gets a part and you'll always have an important role in the play. The audition process was pretty normal, I would say. You just have to pick a monologue that's similar to the character that you would want to play or to the play itself. And then we presented it on Zoom and made a recording and we just submitted it. And I think that definitely played a big role into what character I got because the monologue I chose it had some content that was similar to what Nurse was saying when she was describing Romeo, and she was like, a hand and a foot and a body. And I think that's just a really funny line, but I said something similar and in a very similar tone. And I think that's kind of how I got the role.
Thank you. Okay, so this question is for our storyboard team from Terrelyn. I think the visual aspects of the production were very good and helpful in understanding the scenes. Thank you, Terrelyn. Who made them and how were they made? Can we take this over to Marian?
Yeah, so there was a lot of people in the storyboard team. There was Kush was in it, there was Amelian, there was a bunch of people, and it didn't take like one person, you know? It was, I'd say, again, like 10 people, and we all shared like this one account on storyboardthat.com, and we all worked for the whole period every single day trying to complete it. So I think that just having a sense of community and being able to talk it out with everybody was very helpful in terms of getting everything done on time, because without like our team, I don't think the storyboards would be done at this time, because those things took forever. They took way too long.
Yeah, they really did. Okay, so we have another question in the chat for our production team. So the production team was comprised of me, Sophia Bokovikova, who's not on this call, Anika, and Gia. So a question for Anika and Gia. What are the things that you feel had developed in you since you started making the production?
Gia, you can take this part of this over.
Oh, thank you. Okay, yeah. So for production, what we mainly do is we worked on like translating the story and just adding in narration and taking out parts that didn't feel necessary. So you'll notice that some parts of the play like are taken out because we didn't think they like added a lot to it. So I think some parts that kind of developed over time is that we did realize that there was a lot of the play that wasn't necessary, or there was a lot of different like changes we wanted to make. For example, you might have noticed obviously like we changed the time frame and like the location to like New York. So we would change like little parts of it. That's like, oh, Romeo's exiled to Mantua was like the actual script, but we changed it to like Long Island to make it like a little more relatable in some ways and also more exciting that it's like in New York. So those are like little changes we made. And then throughout the process, we would go back like every day and we would read through the script every day and we'd make sure that like all these like little things would be tweaked. So because the narration's kind of like the main part of it, because that's kind of the only time that you get to get a little bit more of a visual aspect of what's going on. Yeah, Anika, if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I was going to talk about like the other side of development and just like how as a class we developed. We definitely developed a lot. I mean, like in the beginning, we did not know what we were doing. We were like, how are we going to do a radio play? Like, what even is a radio play? And like, I felt like I was playing a very high-pitched girl. And then I realized I was playing an old lady, and it was kind of a mess. And then we kind of got it all together, but that's kind of how all productions work. And I think we also did better and in terms of collaboration. And we kind of had all these teams. So we had sound team, we had production team, marketing team, storyboard team, video team, the acting team. There was just like so many teams. And then we had to work within those teams. And then we had to work with the teams. And it sounds very complex, which it was, but it was also a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, so just to reiterate, the form for the secret word is in the chat. I can resend it if that's helpful. Here it is. The secret word is Mizpah, Mizpah. Thank you. If you fill out that form, then if your teachers are offering extra credit for coming, you'll get it. So again, thank you so much for coming. We hope you enjoyed it. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Actually,